pins and patches.
Okay, hello everybody, and I hope you can hear us and everything here. We had a little technical difficulty. Don't know why it would not connect to the live, but it seems I had to down my computer and up it again. And I'm going to blame it on Russ. I was on his live today. It screwed everything up. Yeah, that's who I'm going to blame. Yeah, it's Russ's fault. Too bad. Ha. No, it's not. So let's see. I want to make sure that you guys can hear us and see everything. And okay. Yes. Okay. Everybody. We are working. Okay. Boy, when that happens, that doesn't happen very often, but when that happens, my heart just goes bang, 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 bang. So, welcome everybody. And, yep, there we are, Sue. Yeah, as I said, we had to down the system because, why is Adam So's notifying me?
I don't know. Because we weren't online.
Oh, maybe. But well, I did send him a message to his. Anyways, I'm all afluster. Clutch the pearls. Take a deep breath. Okay. And shine the ruby slippers. Let's get on with things, shall we? And I'm just going to check something here for just a second. Yep, there we are. Yeah, okay. We're good. We're good. All's fine and dandy. So let's see who's joining us for this frustrating moment. Nina's here. And Nina was the first one. She's been here like most of the afternoon. Caroline is here as well. And Charlotte. Barbara is here. She's good evening all from what has been a very hot month here in England, just north of London. Yes, well, we've had some hot weather here too. I think the world is burning up. Yeah. Inez says hello and everyone watching. Karen Lyles is watching live from Vancouver, USA. Dan is here. Hi, Dana. Greetings to all from Regina, Saskatchewan, and Sue is here as well. Suzanne is here from Rainy Day in Kirkland Lake. Okay, and Barb Olson is here, and Karen B is here as well. Gloria is here. Susan is here. Mary is here from Virginia. We always look forward to seeing you. Well, that makes our day, Mary. Yeah, thank you very much for that. It's a nice comment. Dubrovka and Al are here. Beautiful rainy day up in Timmins, and Mona is here, and Darcy is here as well from West Michigan. Faith is here. Hi, Faith. And Jan is here. Designing J, which is Johanna, she is here. And Charlotte goes, phew. Yep, life is good. We've got it all saved. Incorrect. It's technology. You never know. What, I'm getting buzzed again. It's Adam again. Okay, Adam, I'm in the middle of the live, dear. And Grant is here. Hi, Grant. Dubrovka says, we need to sing opening song together, Mr. Dance. Yes, I had the song up, and then just at the moment...
We could hear it.
We could hear it, yeah. But there's a little indicator on here, and there's a pause. And when I hit live stream on my little switchboard here, it takes it a few seconds for YouTube to go, okay, you can go live, and there's another button you have to push. And when I push that button, well, it never came up with that.
Yeah, that button was kind of grayed out.
Yeah, it wasn't happening. So I reset OBS, which is the software that we are using here, and that didn't seem to fix it. So I had to down the computer completely down and bring it back up and pray. But funny thing was, it saved all of your comments from that moment. It didn't wipe all of that out. It went right back to where it left off, which I found amazing because I figured, yep, that would be all gone, but nope. So basically, it was more of a panic on our side than it was on yours. So anyways, everything's fine right now. Branca is here as well. Nice to see you too. So let's jump in. Actually, just before we do, I got this idea that I might do a video on not necessarily this week, but maybe the next week. I'll do a video showing you the setup that we use, or that I use down here in my sewing room, because there are multiple cameras, as you know, and a switching board for all of this. And because maybe a little behind the scenes look, because well, it's not that sophisticated, but it is a little complex. So anyways, yeah, let's turn to things that, oh yeah, now I got to bring up my pictures because all of that was lost. Yeah, bear with me for a minute. Talk amongst yourselves. We'll give you.
Well, anyway, since in the meantime, I'm still working on Steve's shirt.
Oh, okay.
I got it. We went to a sew day yesterday, and so I got it mostly done. I just have to put the collar on and put the buttons on, pretty much.
What? So, tell them a little story about sewing the button on my shirt.
Yeah,
But-
just show you the back. No buttons on it, so. Oh, well, you just went.
No, they can see.
Oh,
It
okay.
is-
Anyway, so Steve gave me an old shirt of his, and the buttons were beginning to come off for some reason.
Well, bad tailorman.
Probably the first few times I made a shirt, I didn't really put the buttons on as the same way as I do now, and they're more secure the way I do it now. And so we went to the sew day, and the first thing I did was I put all the buttons, attached all the buttons again, and I changed out the thread. He sewed a couple of buttons on and used the wrong color as red. So I was careful and took those buttons. I took the thread out and changed the thread to make them all match, right? So I go to pull out the shirt at the end of the day. I put it back in my bag. I pulled out the shirt the other day, and there's a great big huge hole underneath one of the arms.
Actually, there was a couple of chewy holes
Yeah.
there.
So I said, "Here, I put the buttons on your shirt, and you can't really wear the shirt because it's got a big hole in it."
I think you caught it when you were pulling it
No,
around,
I
Neil, and it
didn't.
ripped it
No,
open.
I didn't. No.
I never knew those holes were there at all. But actually, no, that's not true. That shirt, I discovered the hole. If you remember, way back a month or so ago, I mentioned there was a hole under, I could feel a hole under the arm.
You had another shirt like that, though.
Oh, okay, then I'm getting them mixed up. So they're rotting off my body.
Yeah.
I guess I should wash them.
And it's not at a seam. It's not
no,
at a seam.
it's
It went right
like it got
through.
caught on something.
It right through. Yeah, it's like you got caught on something, or it's just got worn out.
But it's it's weird looking. It's not like it looks torn.
No, it looks like it's worn out to me. You just must do a lot of this. The one arm moves more than the other arm.
Watch my eyes. Roll. Whatever. But yeah. So needless to say, that shirt is now gone to the wayside. What'd you do with that shirt?
I got it in my bag still upstairs.
Well, it's rag. So we'll use it for that. But anyways, I guess this happens. I mean, I wear all of the shirts he makes me all of the time. So I wear 3 or 4 of them a week. So, and I rotate them. They get washed, and then in my wardrobe, the ones at this end, are hanging up. Those are the first ones I'll start to wear, and I work my way across. Then I wash them, I hang them up, and I put them on that end. So it's a continuous rotation of shirts. They get equal wear that way. That might be considered a little anal, but I don't know. But anyways, so I think somebody else. Oh yeah, Arta's here. Hi, Arta from 78. And it says beautiful, Walter. Charlotte loves it too. Faith says, really enjoyed the cleaning Lucy video and so chatty no matter what type of machine you own. Well, yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter what the machine is. It's basically the same procedure through it all. So, keep your machine clean. Of course, I have one of my machines is actually going in for a spa treatment on Tuesday. My embroidery machine, my 550E, which we learned how to service ourselves up to a point. And we do. And but I've noticed lately it has been running a little on the rough side. And yesterday I was using it and it was really bad. and I did some things and it was bad. So I'm using Walter's machine right now. And I also want to compare what his sounds like next to mine. And yeah, there's definitely something. I think it probably needs the timing adjusted a little bit. I think it's a little bit off, and I don't know what else. But I'm going to take it in on Tuesday and have them do a complete overhaul, everything with it. I mean, it hasn't been in for probably 3 years, maybe even a little bit longer now, because I've been doing it myself. But that's a lesson to be learned too. Even when you can service the machines yourself to a point, unless you're a professional, you still need to take it in every so often. And
well, especially an embroidery machine, because it does a lot of stitching.
Yeah.
And Steve uses it all the time. So
I do. A day without embroidery is a day without sunshine. Yeah. Jeannie's here. Hi, Jeannie. So yeah. Okay, so what have I been working on? Well, I had kind of a frustrating day yesterday at the sew day. Okay, let me get my pictures up here. All right, where are they? Everything good. I decided to work on something that is relatively straightforward and simple. But you know me, I do the simplest of things with the greatest of complexity. And that's the jelly roll. And I don't have a picture of it up here yet. But that's the jelly roll quilt design of Adam Sews. And you know that I'm actually making 2 of them. One's going to be, I'm changing the pattern slightly so it'll be on point. And then I'm doing a Christmas version. I don't think I'll do it on point. So, and it uses jelly roll strips. And it's a great pattern. Great pattern. But I hadn't worked on for it in a while. And I'm sewing, I decided I'd be really quick about it. So I was doing like production line kind of sewing, you know, because it's the same thing over and over. And when I started putting on some of the pieces, they were wrong. And I'm trying to figure out what's wrong with this. Why this? Well, I had put on, it's a stitch and flip. And I had put the stitch and flip, the line on the back of the squares that go on the edge of the rectangles. I had put it on the wrong way, or put it in the wrong direction. So when I cut it, it was in the wrong direction, and there was no way you could fix that. So I wasted a little bit of fabric, but not really a waste, because these are strip pieces from jelly rolls that, you know, are in bits and pieces to start with. But it took me 2 hours to do one block between all of that. And they don't take 2 hours to do each block. It's more like about 15 to 20 minutes to do each block. So yeah, it wasn't that. So I think I got 3 blocks done in the process of the day. But anyways, live and learn. In the meantime, speaking of the embroidery machine, so I'm still working on this. I actually have a few more pieces done because I found another block that I want to use in the corners of this table runner. Doesn't look like a table runner right now, but it will. And I like those blocks, and I've got 3 of them there, and I'll be showing that tomorrow on Monday Morning Coffee with me, so you get a feel for it. So right now I have about 2 of the border blocks to do and 1 more corner block, and then I can sew the whole thing together and decide on a border. I think it will have a border, and then layer it and do all of that. I think it'll be nice when it's done. Right now it doesn't look like a heck of a lot because it's a lot of pieces, but they're pretty straightforward to sewing together, so I'm not too concerned about that. So yeah, I've been working on that, and of course I have Tinkerbell done and the Star Band. Now you might say, if you're not familiar with Art East patterns and with this particular one, second star to the right, this piece, although you did it in the chapter with Tinkerbell, does not get attached to Tinkerbell. It gets attached to another piece later on. So I was feeling pretty good about the fact that, you know, the month isn't over, and each month we're doing a different chapter, and the month of August was the Tinkerbell one. And then I looked ahead to what the next chapter is, and I want to slip my wrists. It's Captain Hook. Oh my God. It's the biggest piece, I think, in this quilt, and it's got the most pieces. So I'm not going to sweat it. What I'm going to do is I'm not going to cut all my pieces first, because that will drive me insane. I'm looking at the way John has laid everything out in the pattern, and I'm going to do one little section at a time. I will cut the little pieces for that section, and I will put that section together. And that's the way I'm going to carry on with that thing, because I think it will inspire me as I see that there is some progress. Because when you're cutting all the fabric for this, you really don't get a sense, at least I don't get a sense, that I've accomplished anything except grown a few more gray hairs, and I don't have a lot left to turn gray. So yeah, but it's coming. It's coming. And then I made another mistake. I looked further ahead, and just when I thought it was safe to get back into the water, there is still the crocodile, and there's still the mermaids, and there's still this, I don't know what you call him, a schmook, a schmeek, a schmook, or something, little character in there as well. There are many more chapters to go. I will be, pardon the expression, fucking crazy by the time I get it done. But it's worth it. It's worth it. If you say that enough times, you'll believe it. Now, seriously, nothing against John, but this type of quilt is not for the faint of heart. And you want to be a very patient person, and you want to have lots of time to work on it. Don't think you're going to do this in November to give as a Christmas gift. I don't think that's going to happen. Maybe if you're a really fast sewer and you're much more skilled than I am, maybe. But I don't think so. But anyways, it's coming along. So that is a good thing. Also, I don't know if anybody will have noticed this. I don't know if Walter has noticed it. But watch the screen. You notice anything?
Yeah.
I put in a fade transition.
Oh.
Yes. Russ and I were talking today about different ways people set up stuff. And then I got thinking, I wonder if I can do that rather than just a boom.
Maybe that's
just
what caused
fades
the
in.
problem.
Maybe. Don't know. Who knows? Well, right now we're having other problems with Apple products. Walter's having a problem with his, what is it? The
CarPlay.
Yeah, what's the problem?
It's not connecting.
Mm-hmm. And what's your theory?
Apple had an update to my phone the other day, and it stopped working since then. So
yeah, and so he's been out there trying all kinds of different things and checking the internet about stuff. Well, you said some other people have been experiencing this problem.
Yeah, other people at different times
Oh,
had problems. So it's not an uncommon thing.
and how did they solve the problem?
Basically, reset your phone and reset your computer on your car.
But you haven't reset the computer on the car.
No, yeah. I've been trying to do it without having to do that.
I have a feeling you're going to have to do it. I don't think that it's going to solve your problem if you don't. But whatever, it's technology. Let's see.
I don't know what people without a technology background and just do. They probably just ignore it and don't do it.
Yeah, maybe. Faith says the pan and towels in the pan.
Oh yeah, no, when the cleaning thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm so far ahead of that now. Yeah, okay, I get it. Yeah. Shadow Wind is here. Hello, Shadow Wind. And Ruth is here. And as says she's a beauty. You should have done Captain Hook first. You might be right. What's this? OBS Studio notification. Notification may include alert sounds and icon badges. Huh? Why am I getting that? I don't know. Oh God, help us. And it says, we will be watching you from a rubber room. Yeah, I'll be in the rubber room. You can bet on it. So, okay, so that's what we've been up to. And Walter's working on another shirt, and he showed you that. And so what's coming up as far as videos? Well, we've got Sewing with Me on Wednesdays as usual. Now, the pop-up sew day. Previously, I announced that I was pretty sure the pop-up sew day was going to be Saturday, the 22nd of August, which is this coming Saturday, but it's not. We got invited to a barbecue. We don't get a lot of invitations to anything, to a party. So we're going to the party. So I'm sorry, I'm having to put you all on the back burner, and we'll do it on the 29th, Saturday, August 29th. Now I'll have more stuff about that and the links and everything as we get closer. But sorry, I don't usually, when I say I'm going to do something on a specific date, I don't usually change it. But how can we resist a barbecue party in the summer with 30 gay guys? I mean, my God, it will be a scream, literally. They'll be screaming and clutching pearls everywhere.
Says something, Grant says, you glitched. We must be in the Matrix.
Oh, I glitched? What do you mean, Grant, that I glitched?
And Inez says something about no voice.
Huh? She's right. There's no voice. Is it this? Where's my cursor? Speakers are all on. Microphone's on.
Hello, are we there?
No, we're not. We're not. Okay.
It says Sue Norfleet says I can hear you.
What? Sue can hear us, but I'm not hearing it on the monitor.
No. Seems like you skipped a few seconds. Everybody else says it's fine there. I would have thought we would have had more complaints.
Karen says it's okay. Okay.
Okay.
Well, let us know. Okay, they're all saying they can hear us. Okay, we're confined if they can hear. All right. I have no idea what's going on. Anyways, if you guys can hear us, that's all that matters. So, all right, let's carry on. But if anything else happens, please let us know. Inez says she can't. Grant says it happened right when you said, "What's this?" No sound in Eugene, Oregon. No sound here, Patricia Lancaster. I didn't have any glitches. Grant says I can hear you. Oh, Grant can hear us now. What? So I don't know. This is weird, people. And you're all over the world. Fine here, Gloria says. For those of you, if it doesn't click in so you can hear us in a moment, then what I suggest you do is go out of YouTube, come back in, and maybe that'll fix it. But yeah, I can't hear it on my monitor, and I don't know why. For those of you, if it
I've got it. I got it on my phone.
Well, anyways, we'll just carry on here because most people are saying it's okay. So, and Walter's got a phone. Leave that out so we can monitor it. Oh, it's going to be one of those days, isn't it? Okay, so what? All right. All right, let's just carry on, shall we? So, as I said, Pop-Up Sew Day will not be Saturday, August the 22nd. It will be Saturday, August 29th. Russ had his sewing shenanigans today as well. There's yeah, this is getting really confusing.
Yeah, some people seem to be able to hear and other people can't.
Yeah. So, of course, if I tell you to reset your computer or reset YouTube on your system, you won't be able to hear me saying that. Am I still coming through on your phone? Let's see here. Like,
yeah, some people seem to be able to hear and other people
it's
can't.
working. So I don't know what it is, people. It must have something to do with internet connections or something for some reason. I can't fix that. So anyway, sorry, but nothing more we can do. But as I said, Russ had sewing shenanigans today. And I'm not sure when his next one's going to be. He usually has one a month. So anyways, it was a good time for all of those that were there. Grant says, make sure your live button has a red light on it, everyone. Oh, okay. Do they have a red button?
I don't have it on
I
mine.
don't have a red button.
Yeah, I have no red button on my phone.
Well, I don't know what he's talking about.
No.
Because I have never seen a red button. Okay.
Maybe here, like it said live there when I...
What?
when I do that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So down there,
But that doesn't show me the
mine has that there too, but that doesn't show you anything. Like that doesn't. Anyways, we're getting off topics. Let's hope for the best. And those of you that can't hear, Jen can hear.
can why don't you write a comment in there that says some people can hear and some people can't.
Okay, fine. I can do that. I had to close and restart and could hear the sound. Okay. If you can't hear us, close and restart. Restart what? YouTube.
Okay, spell YouTube right.
I'm not in my right position for doing this.
Okay, well,
Well, never mind. Okay. All right. So that's the best I can suggest because it's not everybody. And Donna says the same thing. Go out and come back in. I wonder if it had anything to do with me having to restart this at the beginning. That might have been the glitch, and maybe it knocked out sound for people or unsynced it or
yeah,
something.
but it didn't knock it out until when you got that message that popped up.
That's true. So I don't know. Anyways, yeah, it sounds like if you go out and come back in, you'll be fine. Okay, moving on. Yesterday we were at a sew day, as you know, with Walter's bunch of people. And okay, have any of you ever heard of a bathing suit that's reversible? Doesn't that sound kind of stupid? Because one of the guys there, Brendan, the leader of the group, he was making a bathing suit for one of the drag performers because they're doing some kind of summery beach thing soon in a few weeks, and they're going to be dressed in these one-piece bathing suits. And the pattern that he was following, you were to make it as a reversible bathing suit. He was having a lot of problems with it. And I said, well, what's the point of a reversible bathing suit? And he said, well, so that, you have a different bathing suit, you have two bathing suits for the price of one. But I said, yeah, but your bathing suit would be wet, wouldn't it? If you're turning it inside out, you're going to have to dry it anyways. So
I suppose you only have to take one bathing suit if you want to wear it 2 different days.
I guess. I don't know. Carol says I also had to close video and then come back to get sound back. I didn't have to close YouTube. Okay, so
I wonder if you restart yours there at that one.
Oh, maybe. Okay, let's give it a try. How do I do that? Here, go down here. Go up here. Didn't have to close YouTube. Okay, so yep. That's the secret.
I wonder if you restart yours there at that one. Oh. Yeah, Steve just closed it out on the YouTube screen that he had because he has another monitor.
Speak up.
Has another monitor here, and it brought it back to...
Yeah, so that's the trick. Just go out of the live, come back in, and you should be okay.
Of course, the people that you're telling to can't hear that.
Yeah, but I already wrote that up there too. So, Inez says instead of lining using bathing suit fabric, instead of lining, yeah, but I don't know. It seemed to me an awful lot of work for what it's not worth. but
if you
whatever.
have to line a bathing suit anyway, I guess it doesn't.
I guess, yeah, I suppose that would be true. I don't know. Never made a bathing suit, never will. Okay, so what's coming up? Review of the past week's videos. Well, on Monday, talked about something very interesting. Canadian English under attack. Apparently, I was under the impression that we have a Canadian English and we have American English. The two are very much the same except for spelling of some words, like color, favorite. We use a U.
Harbor.
Anything
with the O-U-R thing.
Yeah.
Valor.
Yeah. But apparently, we have some British spellings, and we spell differently from the British. Like words like utilize or something, the Brits spell it with an S. We prefer to use a Z. And I think Americans prefer to use a Z. So it's all very confusing. But apparently, there's somebody trying to push some kind of thing through Canadian Parliament that is going to try to make it a law that we only use in Canada one spelling for these. And I'm not sure which one they're going with. It seems to me that our Parliament has more important issues to deal with than something like that. So I don't know who the nut job is putting that through. But,
Yeah, I mean,
waste of time. But yeah. On Idiot Quilter, we looked at my Christmas fabric haul in detail that I bought on our little hop, and we talked about how much and how many meters we bought. And on So Chatty, we cleaned up Lucy. Lucy got a good cleaning, and I was showing Walter how to do it because he has not cleaned Lucy before. And it's a pretty simple process, but it's an important process, very important, because you should do it after every quilt. Not after every 5 or 10. After every quilt, you should do a cleaning. Because there's a lot of lint that gets into things in there. My Lucy doesn't like that. It doesn't really tickle her. It jams her up. So, yeah. Okay. So, meanwhile, in Canada, what's happening? Oh, wow. Geez, let me think. Tariffs? Oh, there's something novel. Not. So, our ministerial people and the administration of the United States have been meeting and talking because, there's the big deadline. Trump's going to put 50% tariffs on, everything in Canada.
including hockey sticks.
Including hockey sticks, because that's important. And if by the 19th of August, so that's next Wednesday, or this Wednesday coming, if we don't make a deal, well, okay, he doesn't want to make a deal. He wants us to give in, and that is not going to happen. So it's going to be really interesting to see. Apparently, they've come up with the teams have met. They've come up with some kind of proposal that they're about to present to Trump. I don't know if it's been presented yet or not. I don't think it has been. I think it's not until Monday they're going to present it. He's going to say no. It doesn't matter what's in it. If we don't give in and do everything he wants, he's going to say no. So be it. So be it. Say no. We don't give a shit, quite frankly, about that. Of course, one of the issues, they want the American alcohol back on our shelves. So we have 2 trader provinces, Alberta and Saskatchewan, that never took it off. They left it on. Yeah, but everybody else, it's not on there. And as far as Canadians are concerned, and they've done several polls amongst the general population, even if for some reason the other provinces do give in and decide, we're going to put it back on the shelves, we as Canadians are not going to buy it anyways. So, except for the ones that are trailer trash out there. And when I say trailer trash, I mean the separatists in Quebec. Or not in Quebec, sorry. Sorry, Quebec.
Alberta.
No, Alberta. Yeah.
Anyway, but see, I think the provinces are holding back on putting it on the shelf because they said that they don't want to put it back on the shelf until we have a deal with the U.S., right? Which makes sense.
Yeah.
Because it would cost a lot of money just to put it back on the shelf, right? Just
so,
and it would mean that we'd have to be ordering it again. So
so no. Just say no, Canadians. Okay, my fellow Canadians. If it does go back on the shelves, just say no. The thing is, Carney can't order it to be back on the shelves. Federal government does not control alcohol. It's controlled by the provincial governments, each province. So it is the premier and the ruling party in the province that make the decision whether it goes back on the shelves. We do not have private liquor stores. Ours are all government run, but provincially run. So
so even if like some liquor, hard liquor itself has to be sold through the provincial outlets, but beer and wine are sometimes in other stores,
in grocery stores.
But the company that's controlling its buying and placement is the provincial government.
That's right. So it may show up on grocery shelves, but the grocery shelves are told by the government, by the provincial government, whether or not they can have American booze on their shelves, and they can't. So right now Doug Ford...
no, but they have to purchase from the province as well.
Yes, to get it. Yes, in the first place.
So if
they
the province
just can't.
doesn't have it in stock, then they can't buy it.
And they're not going to get it, and Doug Ford, our premier, and the premier of Quebec both have said, come hell or high water, it's not going back on, and I hope they stick to their guns with this. I will be very sadly disappointed, and so will many other Canadians, if our premiers turn an about face and put it back on under these kind of threats. They say they will put it back on once the tariffs are dropped, or a mutual agreement, a fair and equitable agreement is passed, and they'll put it back on. So, yeah. So Trump's going to say no to this. You know this. They have wasted their time negotiating. So bring it on, Trumpy boy. Bring it on. And of course, the latest one, although he said it was a joke.
I mean, although we don't pay the tariffs, anybody that's receiving it, the Americans have to. What'll end up happening is, because our stuff is more expensive, then you may buy it from some other country or something that's cheaper. And that means that we sell less of it to you.
Yeah. Yeah. Hi, Colleen. Just saw you there. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting next week. But I think it's pretty much predictable, and he's just going to go crazy and get real ugly, and he's going to say, okay, 50% on. I'm sorry, Americans, your stuff is going to go up in price. It hurts certain businesses in our country to a certain degree, but it hurts all Americans to a bigger degree, which is something that the Trump supporters don't understand because they believe his lies. So, yeah, what else is coming on? Oh, yeah. Well, let's talk about another piece of shit, shall we? And I'm sorry, but I will use strong language when I'm referring to the Trump administration because it's the only language that describes them well. And that's good old U.S. Ambassador Peter Hoekstra.
Hoekstra. He's a Dutch back and last.
Yeah, I don't speak phlegm. But there's a petition out there. I signed it. Walter signed it. That's going to the federal government to kick him out of our country. Here's the kicker. Our Canadian government will not kick out a diplomat. That is considered, at the least, bad etiquette. At the worst, it's considered cutting off relations with a friendly country. So our government will never do that. But what it does send a message to our government is that we do not like being bullied and insulted by that man. He is an a-hole of the first degree. He's been calling us all kinds of names. Well, so does Trump. But I mean, like, he's just following suit of his boss. But he does not use diplomatic language. And for someone that's an ambassador, they're supposed to be, polite when they are the ambassador to a foreign country. The whole idea is ambassadors are there to bring about goodwill between two countries. And if we needed goodwill at any time in history now between Canada and the United States, well, this would be it. He's really not helping the case at all. So it'll be interesting to see what the government's reaction is going to be, because there's over 100,000 signatures already on the petition. But as I said, he's not going to get kicked out of our country. Of course, we have our own scandal still with our own premier. Apparently, our premier,
which is sort of the same as what do you call it?
As a state governor.
Yeah.
He sent members of his own parties down to follow the former Liberal leader, provincial. No, she was national. Was she national? Provincial leader of the Liberal Party down to Jamaica, where she's holidaying, to spy on her. Why? Why would you do that? He's claiming, no, we didn't do that.
We didn't do that. And it wasn't public money that was used.
There was no public money used.
It was party money that was used.
Yeah. So you see,
what is the need to spy on another?
Yeah, really. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. And she's the former. She's no longer the leader of the Liberal.
It was when she was first instated.
Oh, is that when it happened? Yeah. Oh, I thought it was.
It was recent. A while ago.
Oh, well, either way, dirty pool, and of course he's denying it, but because that's what they do best, right? Politicians.
So Joni says still no sound in Eugene. Maybe it is me. Yeah, she probably hasn't.
She hasn't seen the menu or message. Okay, give me a second here, people. If you are still having a sound problem. Get out of YouTube
Oh,
and
YouTube, right?
YouTube and go back in, and that should fix the problem. Okay. All right. So anyways, yeah, just to let the Americans know, we as Canadians, as a society, are not perfect either. We have our bad politicians too. Well, not as bad as Trump, but we have our bad ones. We have our corruption in our politics. You know, quite frankly, anybody who enters politics has the potential to be corrupt if they're not already. That's my opinion. Yours may differ and vary from it. I don't trust any of them. Even Carney. You know, they all have a spin on things. But right now, Carney's doing a wonderful job. And I hope he keeps it up. I will be very, very disappointed in him, seeing how he will react to Trump's no.
Arrows now.
Okay, yay. So we will see. But you know, the other thing too about this whole thing, how we're going to react to the fact that they're going to put 50% tariffs on it. I saw a headline. I didn't watch the story, but apparently somebody in the U.S. government, I can't remember who it was, but one of the ones in the cabinet or whatever the states, threatened us. He says Canada better not retaliate with the tariffs. Excuse me? Do I hear a threat, Mr. Bully? Because that seems to be the only thing this administration can do is bully us, right? So meanwhile, changing the topic from tariffs to fires, because, you know, if it's not tariffs, it's fires. Apparently insurance costs are skyrocketing, according to the headline, because of wildfires and the severe climate events. And they say that experts warn that up to 6% of the housing market, 850,000 homes, is now entirely uninsurable for flood risk. Mortgage lenders are halting offers in high-risk zones. Okay, the reason you get insurance is to protect you from things like this. But, you know, insurance works this way. They'll take your money. They don't want to give any money out. So, you know, what are you supposed to do? If suddenly your insurance doesn't cover you.
High risk area,
Yeah. So just, it's typical though. But apparently down in Florida, they were going through or are going through something similar.
Yeah, I think in Florida, I'm not sure. I did see something that a while back that the areas that are prone to hurricanes are the insurance is quite high there.
So, yeah. So why buy insurance if you're not going to be covered for anything? You know, and high risk areas, well, it wasn't when you moved in. Things have changed. And then we've had severe storms hit Ontario and Quebec. We had massive thunderstorms repeatedly hammered Ottawa, Gatineau, and Toronto throughout the week, flooding homes, overwhelming roads, and leaving tenants of damaged buildings scrambling over tenants' rights.
Yeah, last Sunday we had a very heavy rainfall here. Our house was okay, but the surrounding area, there was a lot of flooding because there's a lot of mud everywhere.
Yeah. So it's not a good situation right now. And there's something, I don't know if it started yet or what, but the super El Nino, whatever the thing is.
El Nino.
I was going to look that up to see exactly what they're talking about there and how that's going to affect us, because it's another one of those things, you know, oh my God, it's coming. Storm of the century. So, and maybe it is. So, meanwhile at home, well, you know, we're working on getting rid of the hot tub, right? So Walter has cleared out an area for the hot tub to go out from under our patio. And the company that we're hiring to do this sent out a representative on Friday. And what's he going to do?
Well, I have to take down a section of fence, right, which isn't too hard to do because it's a section. I have a feeling that's the way it came in when they brought it in.
So that's the north side of the house.
But the only thing is they may damage flowers of our neighbors.
But let's qualify when we say flowers that they have growing. They're not flowers. They're weeds.
No, they're actually flowers.
They look like weeds.
Yeah, well, anyway, the previous neighbors had planted this whole row all the way down between the two houses. We only have, between our houses, Americans usually have a lot of space between their houses, but in our houses, we only have 8 feet of space between our houses.
Where we live.
Where we live.
That's not necessarily the norm
No, but
in many houses.
in older subdivisions, so you have more space. In newer ones, it's more house, less space between the houses. So anyway, our house, there's 8 feet between the houses, so there's like 4 feet on our side and 4 feet on the neighbor's side. So so our fence doesn't go all the way down the center, because then we wouldn't have any room to walk up between the house. So anyway, we have a big air conditioner sitting on one side of our property, and the neighbors have a whole row of these flowers that are tall flowers. They only bloom at
They look like weeds.
They look like weeds.
They're flowering weed.
Yeah, they're flowering weed, and
they didn't put them in.
They didn't put them in. The previous neighbors put them in, but they've have them still there.
There's not a flower bed. They're not sitting in nice cultivated earth or anything like that. They are grown up out of the grass.
In fact, I weed them.
Yeah.
Because they don't weed them. I weed them. So anyway, I politely, I went over there and asked them. I said, I'm having this big hot tub moved out, and it's going to graze some of your weeds. Is that a problem? So no, they said, nah, I figured that was okay.
Yeah. They'd probably be happy if we pulled them all up for them.
Yeah.
But yeah. So anyways, when is this going to actually happen? We're not sure.
They said still 2 or 3 weeks. I have to, they're supposed to call me on Monday to make arrangements for a date. So
yeah. And then I can get my brother-in-law, who is a
electrical engineer,
to come over and disconnect our 220 voltage from the hot tub. We could probably do it ourselves. And in fact, this guy, when he was there, they said they can do it too. But we figured our brother-in-law connected it for us 27 years ago. So he knows what he's doing. He'll get in there, lickety split, in 10 minutes. It'll be disconnected and whatnot. And so that we don't have to worry about it. So that'll be out. Then after the hot tub goes out, then Walter can start, we'll look at how our brickwork is underneath the tub, because we have interlocking brick that the whole patio under there is, and it has shifted where, the hot tub was sitting. So we'll know how much shifting has really happened under the hot tub and everything, and then maybe assess what we need to do to get it level again, whether we can do it ourselves. And when I say we, I mean Walter. And
I've been watching videos.
He's been educating
I would
himself.
Try to do it myself first. And if I find I'm not satisfied with the job that I did, then I might hire somebody to do a professional job.
Yeah. Ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. So you might want to know, how much does it cost to have a hot tub removed? Well, about $700 with it. And yes, that's a lot of money, but it's a really heavy hot tub, and
it weighs about 1,000 pounds.
Like, we can't do it ourselves. There's no way.
It's was about 100 inches by 100 inches by 38.
It's an 8-man tub.
Yeah, it's a big tub.
Yeah, it's a big tub, and it's heavy, and it has to go up a hill, has to go through the fence, and everything else we said. And they have the equipment. They do it all the time. They know exactly how to get this, how to do this. So it's worth the money to have the professionals do it. And besides, we get it halfway up the hill, even if we could, it'll start to roll backwards and we'll be flat. So that's one way to lose weight, I suppose, really quick. So yeah, that's happening. And speaking of our neighbors with the weeds on the other side, they've been doing a lot of home improvements. They've been like weeding their backyard and cleaning it up, and they got new windows put into their house and all this stuff. And we are worried that maybe they're getting the house ready to put on the market. We don't know what might move in. Like, for the most part, they're good neighbors. So you never know who's going to move in. The neighbors on the other side of us, we were telling them about this, and they're going, oh God, no, I hope not. And I said, well, if we get crap
Well,
in
we
there.
have two neighbors across the road that are probably going to be moving at some point.
Yeah,
Because
because they're almost dead.
one, the house is sold, and because her husband passed away, and one, it sounds to well, I don't know if it was her husband.
What?
They get people that lived across the road because there was some mention of yeah, the guy that she was living with passing away, and the kids are forcing his kids from a previous marriage are forcing.
No, they were married because she wanted a divorce,
Oh yeah, she wanted a divorce. Yeah,
but she hasn't got one yet because he's
Yeah.
dead. So
she got the
I guess
ultimate
she
divorce.
got the ultimate divorce on that one.
But it sounded to me like his kids, which are probably not her kids, are forcing the sale of the house.
Yeah. Now we're not talking about young people here.
No, I mean he was
90 something.
he was over 95, so
Yeah. And I'm not sure how old she is, but she's up there too. So I mean, these are not young
yeah,
people.
and there's a woman across the road that's over 95.
Yeah, and
She still cuts her lawn.
Yeah, not only that, but she goes down into her backyard with her walker, load it with pails of gravel and cases of pop and all this, and holy crap. Our neighbor to the south of us, he was telling us about that. He said he went over to help her out with that. And she, oh, no, I'm fine. I can manage. Yeah, sure you can until you fall down and break a hip. Like, wow. Talk about being, well, still active. But anyways, let's see. Barb says, I was just going to say, it sounds like they're getting ready to list their house for sale. Yep. Rachel says, I agree. Don't want new neighbors. My neighbor has had to go into a nursing home. I'm contemplating buying it, so don't have to have new ones. Yeah. Kim is here. Hi, Kim. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but what are you going to do when you get, are you going to rent it out? If you buy it,
I think she's being funny.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're
I'm
a little thick. You're a little thick. But anyways, yeah. Okay, so let's get to the main topic today about scammers. Now, we've dealt with this topic before, but it seems lately when we think of scammers, we think of the ones that send us a text message or give us a phone call and are trying to telling us that, there's some kind of a charge on our credit card and we need to call a number and verify that it wasn't us and all this kind of stuff. And they're just trying to get as much information from us as they possibly can to scam into our bank accounts, into our PayPal accounts, into whatever our accounts online. We all know about those ones. But now with AI, there are new scams happening, but I thought it would be good just to review this because, I mean, let's face it, most of us that are on here are of the older generation, and we are the targets. Primarily, they target the 60-plus crowd with this.
Rachel says she thought about moving her in-laws to the place next door.
Yeah, okay. I'm just looking to see what you're reading because you don't read
Second
well.
from the bottom.
Oh, okay. I thought about moving my in-laws in, Walter. My other half just looked at me, one of those looks. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Thank
great.
God all of our in-laws are dead. Oh, we don't have
Can
to
you
do
imagine
that.
moving your mother in next
Oh,
door?
God, no. God, that would be worse than death. But let me see. I was trying to look for something that I had here. And, of course, I think I have lost that again in the great reboot. Okay, there's what I want. So I just want to use this as a jumping off ground. Some of these are very familiar. Some of them are other ones that may or may not affect you, but I think we need to understand them anyways. So I found this, the 10 most common scams. They call ones phishing and spoofing. These ones we're all pretty familiar with. Criminals send fake texts, emails, or direct messages pretending to be trusted organizations like banks or delivery services to steal your login credentials. Okay, we are told about these ones all the time, but nevertheless, they still are sucking in some people to these kinds of things. First of all, everybody needs to understand, and the banks will tell you this, they will never contact you directly. If you have a problem with something with the bank, you contact them directly. Do not go through. If you see an email from them, do not click on that. Do not do a reply message, because that is a phishing scheme. They're trying to scrape your information.
And don't use the phone number on their email, and don't use their whatever link, whatever they've provided for you. Make sure you go to the proper bank that's on whatever your credit card is, or whatever, the phone number there.
Yeah. And this has been going on for years and years and years. It's probably the most popular of all the scamming ones. And obviously it's still working because it's still out there. And you hear on news reports all the time about someone who's lost their life savings to something like this. You know, they've been told they need to send a certain amount of money in order to have something fixed, but they'll get the money back, you know, and all this kind of stuff. And then or they'll deposit it, or the money that has been taken from your account or whatever, they will deposit it back into your account. You just need them to give them your account number. No. Once they have
or they also make it sound like it has to be done urgently.
Yes.
And it makes it sound like, and then they tell you not to tell anybody else that you're doing.
Yeah. This should be kept. It has to be kept private and all this stuff. But you know, older people who aren't familiar with maybe online banking or stuff like that, they believe it because they've been taught to trust their financial institution. Well, and they can still trust their financial institution. It's just that this is not coming from their financial institution.
And if they're trying to tell you that you've done something wrong and the cops are going to come pick you up or something like that, just let them do that.
Let the cops come, because the cops will never come. That's not going to happen. Okay, now this one doesn't really affect a lot of people unless you're the kind of person who's really into trying to become rich really quick. Cryptocurrency and investment fraud. Scammers use social media pressure, or pig butchering they call it, relationship tactics to lure victims into fake trading platforms, resulting in the highest financial losses of any scam category. Okay, let's face it. If you've got a nest egg of money set aside, if you're retired, if you have a pension or not, you always want more money, okay? Or people who have bare minimum pensions, especially. These sound good. For $5,000, for $10,000, if you buy this cryptocurrency or you invest in this scheme, it's a guaranteed you're going to make money.
And sometimes they put up people that are known, stars, or
like Kevin O'Leary,
or something up, and this person that knows all about money and is rich, it has a special fund that he's started up, and you can invest in it, right?
Now, these kind of scams play on greed or on the fact that people are going through hard times right now, some people more so than others. And so if there's a chance they could make more money, bring in more money so they can survive, they might be susceptible to this, depending on how smooth a talker the scammer is. And they're smooth. They're very smooth. In fact, they guarantee you're going to get an immediate return on your money, and you will. If you invest $5,000 into this, then you can expect a return of $1,000 within 1 week's time, and there will be.
Yeah, and they may do that, give you $1,000 in 1 week's time, and then it encourages you to invest more money,
to make more money from it.
And then people will put more and more money into this, thinking that they're making money on it. And then all of a sudden the bottom drops out of it.
Now, in order for them to get this money to you, they need to know your banking information, because they do it all electronically. So they now have your banking information. If they'll keep trying to get you to invest more. Now, if you do invest another $5,000, or it usually starts to go up to $10,000, $20,000, and you will, for the first little while, get a return on that money. And then suddenly, when they figure they have milked the cow dry, then suddenly they disappear. So does your bank account. Any money that's in it that they put in, and any other money you may have had in there, is gone. And getting it back, well, you won't. The bank won't cover you for something like that. So you've lost everything. And some people, I have seen on certain reports, some people have actually mortgaged their homes homes that were already paid for and had been paid for many years. In order to put more money into it, they took out a loan against their house, an equity loan or whatever, and they took that money and gave it right to the scammers and lost everything. And if these are usually older people, so really they're going to live out the rest of their lives in poverty. All the money they earned, I mean, it's a really sad situation. So, you know, I always told my mother, I looked after my mother's finances, so there was no chance that she could get scammed. But I told her, if you get a phone call, Mom, and if they tell you they're from the bank or this and that, you just say to them, my son looks after everything. You'll have to contact him. Do not give any information. Do not tell them who your son is. Do not give them my phone number or anything like that, as it's a scam. You just hang up on them. And she got some of those calls, but at least she followed through what I told her to do. I think I scared the bejesus out of her, and that was a good thing that I did. So then there's the online purchase and marketplace scams. I know a lot of people love to buy things off of Facebook Marketplace or other sites. Not me. I don't. I seldom go on Facebook for that matter, because Facebook basically is one of the biggest scams out there. Not just in things that they're trying to sell you, but information they can glean from your Facebook accounts. If you have put in your address, if you've put in your full name, and anything like little bits and pieces, like you're married, you have 4 grown children, you live in a certain area, blah, blah, blah.
And some have a list of all their friends.
Of all their friends.
All your friends might get contacted for some reason or another. There's lots of times where somebody will spoof your Facebook, steal all your friends, and contact all your friends to try and milk them out of something.
Yeah. At the simplest level of this, it's, as it says here, they take your money for an item but never ship the goods to you.
Well, that would be the least.
That would be the least of your worries. Because, like Walter said, they start contacting everybody that's in your contact list, your friends list. There was an incident just this week here in Toronto. A guy was buying something on Marketplace. He made arrangements to meet in a public setting, in the parking lot of a public place, for the seller of this to do the exchange, and a gun was pulled on him, and he was robbed. And he was robbed by a teenager in that case, but it's not limited to teenagers. So, I mean, there's that kind of fraud there. You know, what appeals to people on this, and I'm going to harp on this a lot, these kind of things work on people who are desperate or in bad financial straits. So, you know, they may be selling some things off and they put it on Marketplace. Now, it's not to say that every transaction or everything that comes up on Marketplace is a scam. But, you know, quite frankly, I think there's other places you can go to sell things that are much more legit if you need to sell things than something like Facebook Marketplace. And Facebook, they do not care. It's buyer beware. And there's fake ads on there. It's just, get off Facebook. Really. If you're still on it, the kids aren't. The kids gave it up years ago. They're not on it. It's just old farts like us who are on Facebook. There's other ways to keep in contact with family and friends, you know, than Facebook. Employment and fake job scans. I got one of these yesterday. They want me. They want me bad for a job that is only a couple of hours a week and it's all online, and I could make in my first week over $30,000 with it going up from there for only a few minutes of my time on the week. This came to me as a text message, but I've also gotten them as a phone call, although they seem to prefer text messages for this. Fake, completely fake. They don't know who I am or anything like that. But again, if people need a job, they may go for it. So it says fraudsters post bogus remote work opportunities on job boards, hiring victims without an interview only to steal their banking information or send fake payroll checks. And that's how they get you. Yes, they may do a fake interview with you. You are just what we're looking for. Okay, how soon can you start? Well, I can start immediately. This is great. Excellent. Okay, so we just need some information from you so we can have an account that we can put your money into, your paycheck every week, what you'll be earning. So we just need all your banking information. We need your social insurance number. We need your date of birth and everything like that. And if you're desperate for a job, sounds too good to be true, and it is too good to be true, you give them all that information. Guess what they're doing with that? Emptying your bank account and other things too. So yeah, if you need a job, you go to a legitimate business for a job or a legitimate employment agency, not something that that's come to you unsolicited as a text message or as a phone call. Government imposter scams. Okay, we're all familiar with this one. Criminals call or message pretending to be a tax agent, like from the Americans IRS or the Canadian CRA. Or law enforcement, threatening legal action or arrest unless an immediate payment is made. You get the call. I've had them several times. We're looking at your last tax return and realize there was a mistake made and you owe $5,000 in back taxes. You must pay that immediately. Otherwise, this is going to litigation. Or there will be cops on your doorstep immediately with a warrant for your arrest. You need to do this now. And they sound really panicky. They also make it sound like they're on your side, but they're warning of you in this. They don't want you to get in trouble. Act now, do this. We can help you with this. All we need from you is your bank account number, and we can do it as an e-transfer.
They used to do send you out to pay, get what do you call it?
Gift certificates.
Gift certificates.
Yes, Amazon gift certificates.
Or they want you to put money into a Bitcoin machine.
Yeah, the Bitcoin machine. Okay, no.
We've even heard of them saying that their lawyer will come to your house and pick the money up, so you can go down to the bank and pull the money out.
Now, the bank tellers, if they're swift, and they've all been trained in this, if they see, especially an older person coming in and suddenly taking out a lot of money
in cash,
they will stop them and they will ask them, what's this for? And usually they can head off the scam that way.
However, some of these criminals are telling the old people, say, you can't tell the bank.
Yeah, you can. Do not talk to the bank about this.
Yeah.
For whatever reason they give, that kind of thing. Again, they are feeding on the lack of technical know-how of older people, and yeah, that's just not right. I mean, when I get those calls, I go, "Oh, really? Okay, well, bring it on. Send the police to my door. I'll wait for them. I'm here all day." And they usually click. That's it. I mean, some of them will get really nasty with you. "No, you're going to be arrested now. You're going to spend the night in jail and worse. And you're going to be blah, blah, blah. And you won't have bail and all that stuff." And go, "Yeah, bring it on. It's okay. I need a change of scenery." Yeah, really. Then, of course, tech support scams. I don't know if these are as popular as they were, but they could be. An alarming pop-up appears on your computer screen, or you receive an unsolicited call claiming your device has a virus demanding money or remote access to fix it. Well, first of all, most people now have virus detectors. The one I use, it will immediately, if I go to a website and it suspects that website is fraudulent or there's a problem with it, it alerts me immediately and it will not open the website.
Yeah, there used to be ways they could get around some minor things and then just put out a message on your computer to make it look like you've had a virus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that happens anymore.
And then what they do is they'll give you a number to call, and you call that number and they will say, "Okay, we can help you with that. Yes, this is going around. So thank you for calling us. So we will give you a hand with this." And what they do is they say, "Now, what you need to do is to download or open this piece of software. And then when you've done that, you need to put in like your number or something and some basic information to your computer. And then they can remotely take control of your computer and help you fix the problem." And yeah, if you
never allow anybody to take remote control of your computer.
never do it. Never do it. If you've got a problem with your computer and you can't fix it, and you can't find anybody in your family who knows things about it, like your grandchildren or whatever, then take it to a reputable computer company. Like take it to Best Buy, or in Canada, Canada Computes, or something like that, where it's legit technicians to fix it. But you don't have a virus, by the way, with it. And basic thing to do is, if you get that little screen that flashes up and it says, we have detected a virus on this, do not shut down your computer immediately. Shut down your computer. It'll tell you it's going to erase all your data and everything, and you're never. No, it won't. You just down the computer, knock it back up. Yeah, like that.
Most of the time, it'll disappear if you do that.
So yeah. So, but they create the panic mode. They make it sound like the world is going to end because of this, but they can help you, and they're so friendly and helpful with all of that. So let's take a pause here for a minute, because I see that there's things coming up. People are talking here. So we've got, let's see. Let's see. Anything else? Jones said, "Don't worry about us 96er people. Still, I've alone, and I'm all Uber if I need a ride, as I give up my car, but my license still God for 6 more years." Good for you. So yeah, well, you're a live one, and that's great that you are, Joan. And S says, "I watched Tiny Tim Adventures for laughs. He is so funny."
Okay.
I'm glad you enjoyed that. Barb says, never do a reverse mortgage. Oh yeah. That is a different type of scam. That is kind of if scams can be legit, but they make it sound like it's going to cost you nothing, and you'll have all this money to go on fabulous vacations, do home renovations, put the grandchildren through college or university. Well, no, what they basically do is they own your house.
Yeah.
So it's a reverse mortgage. They used to call it, there was one company called it a chip.
Yeah.
And there's other ones out there. And they advertise on television, online all the time. They're not illegal, but they're not a good thing to get into, because you're basically losing your
you're basically
assets.
they'll pay you to, you're taking a loan against your house, basically. You would be better off going in and taking a loan against your house than taking a reverse mortgage.
Yeah, because the reverse mortgages too are going to have a higher, like, you don't pay anything back, but that doesn't mean there isn't any interest on that.
Yeah.
They're accumulating interest over time, and eventually one day they're going to come and go, "Hi, guess what? We own your house. Get the hell out."
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right about that one, Barb. Donna says, "I don't know why anyone would do that. I'm older, would never do that." Yeah, well, no, but there are people.
But they'll suck you in to make it sound like you have all this money.
Well, think about timeshares and how popular those were back a couple of decades ago. And everybody was getting on the timeshare thing. And once you bought into a timeshare, which is basically where you kind of own a property, but you kind of don't, because you own it with about a bunch of other people. And so you have certain allotments of time across a year when you can use that property, or you can swap it out to use a property with somebody else in a similar situation in another part of the world. Sounds really good, because you don't have any expenses to pay for, rental accommodation. You can travel, all that kind of stuff. Well, no, you do have expenses. You have monthly fees for upkeep, and they are quite expensive. Like what? We know people who pay.
We know someone that has to pay $600 a month, so about $7,000 a year just on upkeep.
And they can't get out of the contract.
And they can't
ever
get out of the contract.
And not only that, death doesn't separate it either.
Not exactly sure what happens.
Yeah, but apparently it goes with the estate.
Yeah.
And so whoever, the way we understand it, we could be wrong about this, but whoever inherits your estate, like your children or whatever, they also inherit this as well. So in a sense, that one's a scam as well. And they like to fish in with the, the 2 nights, 3 days, whatever, in a hotel kind of. They wine you and dine you with it all. Didn't we go to something like that once years ago?
No, you
Wasn't
wanted
it?
to go, and
Oh
I
yeah,
said
you
no.
said no. Well, I just wanted the free package, but it's a hard sale, very hard sale. And they don't take no
I
for an
think
answer.
you almost bought the expensive vacuum from Vacuum
That's the one
Cleaner.
I'm thinking of. Yeah, yeah, that one. He was
And
not.
also they had that thing where you got a bed that would raise and lower.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah. That wasn't a scam.
no, but their beds were $10,000 at the time, and that was many years ago.
Yeah, that's true. But he was a homophobe, and
Yeah.
when he found out that the bed was for us too, he didn't want to sell us anything, which was just as well at the time. Anyways, you see, it is. I mean, I consider myself a fairly intelligent and logical person, even if I do call myself the idiot quilter. But even people with the sanest of minds, they have techniques and tricks they can suck you in.
Carter Burns said that she almost got scammed trying to sell a sewing machine. I checked with the company they were representing and saw that they were not legit, paid to a double check.
To double check. To sell, okay, so they were trying to sell her sewing machine. She wanted to sell it. So she checked with the so-called company they were representing, saw they were not legit, paid.
It paid for her to double check.
Double check. Okay, I get it on there. Yeah, true. Rachel said, I had lots of those texts recently about the job I've applied for. Luckily, I'm not in the market for a new job. Guess that one could be really easy to fall for. Yeah, if you're desperate, if you need a job, yeah, and that's what they're hoping for. Ruth said, a few weeks ago, I received a package that included Owala containers. I never ordered it. I reported fraudulent charges on my card. When I contacted the retailer, they never responded. So I would assume, there just doesn't seem to be any interest in tracking down the culprits. Just raised prices on everything to cover the loss because of the fraud. So you received something you didn't order, you got charged for on your card. So I'm assuming you called your credit card company, told them this so they would reverse the charge and block, because you can do that. I mean, make sure you go in well armed with all the information from that transaction and the whole bit that you can get your hands on. But the credit card companies they'll put up a little bit of resistance, but be persistent. And they will stop the company, because that means that company has your credit card information.
Yeah.
So yeah, they will stop, and then they will also recommend to you or tell you, okay, that credit card is nil and void. You need to get they'll send you a new credit card with a new number, which is a hassle. If you have like regular charges that come out all the time on your credit card, you got to contact all those places and tell them this is your new number. How do I know this? Been there, done that. And Barb says, all of that for 5,000. Oh my. Sending to a lawyers and cops. Yeah. Jenny says, my friend lost $500 when the scammer pretended to be our pastor asking for gift certificates to help dying people. Yeah. Then there's the charity scams. We'll come to those. Rachel says, you can only hope that karma catches up with these evil people, companies that carry out scams. Yep. Because they just keep doing it, and they are very difficult to capture and bring to justice. They're also not here. Most of them aren't in this country or the United States. They're over in India, Nigeria, places like that. Joanna's here. Hello, Joanna. Ruth says, yes, they credit the account and shut the account down. Good. So that's what you have to do immediately when you see that. Call your credit card company. I mean, you tried to get a hold of them. You got no response. I wouldn't give it a long length of time. If you don't get any response from them within 24 hours, then move right in on the credit card. Don't fool around, because they got your information. And not only do they have your information, they sell that information to other scammers as well. There's a whole network out there. So it's not just one. Everybody's getting a piece of the pie with that. So back here to some of the other ones, and some of you have already alluded to these. Okay, so Um, the grandparent scams or emergency. Okay, I was almost a victim of one of these. Attackers impersonate a distressed family member or friend via phone or clone voice audio begging for urgent money to handle a sudden legal or medical crisis. The call I got was, I thought, from my uncle, not my uncle, from my nephew out west. I hadn't seen in a while. It sounded like his voice, but I hadn't seen him in a long time. So, and apparently he was got caught drunk driving. They put him into prison. They weren't letting out until they were posting bail. He didn't want to call his parents. He called me.
And you ended up giving him a bunch of information like the name of your nephew and stuff like that.
Yes, I did. He never said, "Hi, Uncle Stephen, this is Harrison." He went, "Hi." Yeah. And I'm
went, your nephew.
Hi.
He didn't mention.
No. How it went was he went, "Hi." And I went, "Hi, who is this? You don't recognize your own nephew's voice?" My brain immediately jumped to, this must be Harrison. I went, "Harrison, how are you? What's going on?" I thought, now my brain started to create a scenario. Scenario was something's happened to my brother, his father, or his mother, or whatever, or something. There's a family tragedy out there. That's why he's calling me. No, it was all this other stuff. And he was telling me, so I said his name. So they now had a name with it. I didn't say his last name, though. Yeah. But they told me as it went on, yeah, I needed $1,000 or something, and the lawyer they had assigned to him would contact me in a few minutes to let me know how to make the transfer and everything. I had all these scenarios in my head because it was a time period when I felt that my nephew wasn't getting along with his parents, and that's why he didn't want to call. I made the stories up in my mind. No one said those things to me. I made them up. Walter was the voice of reason. I said, well, Walter says, no, this is not. And then suddenly, yeah.
I said, well, ask them what your nephew's middle name
is, and that kind of stuff. Get more details. So they did call me, the lawyer, supposedly all this, needed this real quick and everything. I said, okay, just a few questions for you. What's my nephew's middle name? And that was the end of that. Click. So you see how easy it is? And they always are very emotional.
And they also need it right away.
Yep. For that kind of stuff. So, yeah.
They don't want to give you time to think about it.
Sometimes it's supposed to be a friend that's on a vacation. They've been robbed. All their money has been stolen. They have no money to get back home from the country. All this kind of stuff. Buy airplane tickets. Everything was gone. And the whole bit. And, yeah.
Just tell them to go to the police station.
Yep. Yeah. Go to the International Embassy. Whatever. Of course, this one breaks me up. I'm sorry. This one, I don't have a lot of sympathy for the victims of this. Romance scams. Fraudsters build long-term emotional connections online using fake profiles, eventually fabricating elaborate emergencies to request money or crypto transfers. Okay, these are usually women, and they're usually women of a certain age. Okay? These women are lonely. They are desperate to find love. The one on the other end of the line sounds nice. He says nice things. He sounds interested in their life. They carry on this romance, long distance or the phone. They may exchange pictures. Of course, he sends a picture of somebody that does not exist, but who's always very good looking.
They may even send you gifts.
Yes, may even send gifts and everything. And then every time that the victim tries to make arrangements to meet, and they're always somebody from another country or somewhere far away, there's always a delay. They may start making the plans for it, and at the last minute, something has come up. But it's usually an emergency, and they need money. Their mother or somebody has gone suddenly into hospital, or there's this and that.
They often start out with a little bit of money, or they may say, oh, I've got a really good investment, and you can, you can invest through me or something like that.
Now, this is going to sound horribly cruel, but these are definitely stupid people that are the victims. Okay. If you need romance, if you want to meet somebody, you don't do it online, not with this kind of
Not
way.
with somebody you can't actually meet.
Yeah. You go to a legitimate online dating service and you can check their legitimacy. Do it the old fashioned way. Wear something low cut and go to a bar. Pick them up. Whatever. On it. I'm being funny
Well,
there.
first bad clue is they want money from you.
Mm-hmm. If they really care about you, they're really interested, they will figure out a way to meet you somehow face to face. They won't ask you for money. I just think, and there's so many of these that happen. These are loser victims. Advance free loans and prizes. Okay. These are the ones that are coming closer to sounding really legit. Victims are notified that they won a lottery or qualify for a low-interest loan, but must pay an upfront processing fee or tax before assessing the funds. Okay. First of all, if people play a lot of lottery tickets, and they assume that people do, then you get the call. You've won, and they'll give you a legitimate name for lottery. And first of all, if you have that ticket, then, this is great. Well, the first thing you need to say to them, what's the ticket number? And verify it.
Or there's also ones where like Michael's or a company that you know that you probably shop at. You've won this and this prize from this company, and it has the Michael's logo or some other company that you deal with or regularly that are
or you've
popular.
automatically been entered into the contest because you're a loyal customer or something like that. And
then they may be fishing for your banking information or more of your information. They may even want to confirm your email and things like that. So there are places that actually will try and contact you and try to get you to email them, what they're starting to look for information about you, like your email address. Yeah, and then from there they may start asking you more questions.
Yeah. So no, I mean basically there's an old saying, everybody knows it: you get nothing for nothing. And in all of these scams here, if it sounds too good to be true, it's too good to be true. Don't do it. Or at least go and investigate it to see what the legitimacy of it. Ask key questions, depending on the format it comes to you for, to find out the legitimacy. Usually when you start asking those kind of questions, like I said, what's my nephew's middle name? If a bank calls you and says, there's been this money has been taken out of your account, or this is on your credit card. Okay, you say to them, okay, please give me my bank. What's my account number?
Well, actually, I wouldn't even do that. You just say, thank you for the information, hang up, and go to your bank.
Go to your bank if you think it's legit. But never give them the account number. But if you turn around and you say to them, well, okay, what's my account number? And what I've said to them before is, well, if you're contacting me and you saw that, you know the account. Oh, we're not allowed to give that information out. Oh, neither am I. Goodbye. So, yeah. And then there's the recovery scams. Criminals specifically target people who have already lost money to fraud, pretending to be recovery agents or investigators who can retrieve the lost assets for a fee. Okay, no, they're playing on people who are on the downs and outs. There are legitimate companies that will help you with your financial problems and things like that. You go to them direct. You don't.
Yeah, and the other thing about banks, for instance, going back a little bit, is that the person on the other end of the phone may start reading the first few numbers of your credit card off, and those are common numbers that are used by all the banks.
Like 4510.
Yeah, something like that. And so some people think they're legit because they give them the first few numbers.
Yeah. So, yeah. Now, where does AI come into this? All of it. We have to be even more conscious and aware of scams because they can now use AI. AI used to be when you got a call on your cell phone or whatever, the voice on the other end would have an accent to it. Or if you got a text message, it would be in broken English. It would be badly written. That was your first clue that this is not someone that comes from your own area. This is offshore somewhere. But now AI can write in perfect, complete sentences and can speak in a voice that is without accent, perfect grammar, syntax, the whole bit. AI can fake images that look real about
In fact,
things.
sometimes there's scams where they will phone you and get you to talk on the phone to them.
Yeah.
And they'll copy your voice.
Yeah.
And reuse it for something else.
Yeah.
It's like, well, they'll do it on celebrity voices and things like that.
And there is, for people who have, that are content creators on YouTube, there is AIs that scrape through YouTube videos and they try, if they get enough information, they can steal a YouTube channel and put up fake information in that YouTube channel that they have created through AI that has nothing to do with the content creator. They have stolen the creator's site because they were able to get enough information in order to do that.
And then if you've been familiar with the creator or something, like when we're on here talking and stuff like that, if they stole our identity, then we could actually start asking people for their banking information. They might actually give it to us because they think they trust us.
Or we could recommend for you to go to a certain website, and that website could be a scammer portal into all of that. Because I recommend things to you all the time, don't I? You know, fabric, certain stores, things like that that we have had. So they can fake us if they have all the information they need to get into that. And it's encrypted in YouTube for us content creators. So the only way right now they can get it is I would have had to have given it to them. I would have had to have been scammed with it. I'm not giving them anything with that. So yeah. Now, how do you protect yourself? Okay, or what are the common warning signs, of the scamming? High urgency, as we already said, demanding immediate payment or action to prevent a negative consequence. Unusual payment methods, that's the thing with the gift cards, wire transfers, or cryptocurrency. Unsolicited contact, reaching out completely out of the blue via text, phone call, or email, and you think it's somebody you know or a relative. Too good to be true. Like I said before, offering high investment returns with zero risk or hiring you instantly for high pay. And what they're playing on is either the people's desperation that they need money or their greed for it in that case. And they use emotions all the time for this kind of stuff. So, yeah, we have to be on our toes more and more these days because of AI and how AI can really fake it. The best thing for you to do when it comes to anything that comes through on your email that shows a website is look at the URL. If you can't see the URL, either hover over the who it's from, or that maybe turned off something called verbose in your whatever you're using as a browser. Turn that on and you'll see the whole URL. And that's when you're going to recognize something that's not legit. With that kind of thing. Look at the spelling of those sites in the URL. I said AI can already, in the text, in the body of it, write good English. But the URL is the trick, is the secret. Because it's basically a fake URL. Well, it's not necessarily a fake URL, but it's a URL that's been created to take you to a site that they have access to, the fraud people, the scammers. Okay, so let's just see some comments here before we close off. Marilyn says the YouTube channel Catfished is interesting. Yeah, there are channels out there that explain all this stuff too. In fact, there's some that go in and try to bust the scammers as well. They're kind of interesting to watch. Ruth says, well, it gets better. My husband received a truck tire. He contacted the retailer and they are investigating. So far, neither of us noticed any fraudulent activity. It's crazy. Okay, a truck tire. Well, there's something. Rachel says, I work for a department that pays into bank accounts. We have a list of fraudulent accounts that are organized crime. Problem is they change so often we have trouble keeping track. Yeah, that's a problem there. So basically, they're trying to scam a bank with that one. Yeah, that's a much higher level than your average scammer. That's organized crime. Donna says, you just got to be your own self and no giving bank numbers to anyone. Only have it limited amount on credit cards. Yeah, don't give any information out. You don't have to. No matter what they tell you on the phone, you do not have to give them any information. You say to them, I will come into your office. I will meet with you personally at your place of business, your legitimate one. Don't give them anything online or on the phone. Joanna says, I've been scammed as well. Another scam attempt was Amazon called to say my credit card was used in Ohio and they would help me change my password. Nope. Yep, that's right, Joanna. I called the FBI on a scam on my nursing license in narcotics. I was told, ma'am, I'm guarantee if we were investigating you wouldn't know. Okay, so there you go. But you see, you did the right thing, Joanna. You went right to the legitimate source to check it out. Cheryl says, I got a call from a man saying he had my brother in front of him. Gave me his callback number from Florida. Turns out it was the repairman from my quilt shop calling about my sewing machine.
My brother.
Oh, I get it. Yeah. And Ruth says, well, see, many of those love scammers prey on older, vulnerable individuals who have recently lost a spouse. Not stupid, but very vulnerable and alone. Yep, I get that they're playing on it. But even people in mourning can use some intelligence. I'm sorry. I am not making an excuse for their bad. You know?
I feel bad.
I feel bad for them
that they did that.
Yeah.
But when somebody's asking you for money, no, especially large amounts. I don't understand people that go out and mortgage their homes to give somebody some unknown person money.
Like, really, there's a line. Okay, there's a line. So, all right. So just before we finish up, I have one response from last week that I want to go over because it affects the majority of you on here, because the majority of you are Americans. This came from Maureen, and she wrote, I do hope the Canadians do not believe that most of the American people are not like DJT, Donald Jessica Trump. We don't like the things that he does. You know, Maureen and the rest of the Americans, the majority of Canadians do not hate the majority of Americans. What we hate is how we're being treated by your government and by the megas, okay? We hate being insulted. We hate being threatened. We hate being bullied. That does not mean that we hate all average Americans, because the average Americans are not doing this. Trump supporters are doing this, but not the average ones. If you're on here in the chat, you watch this, you are probably not a Trump supporter, because you know what I'll do if I find out you are. I will eliminate you from my channel. But I don't want to give the impression that when we say things about the United States and the situation right now, that we have a major hate on for all Americans. No, it is selective. Okay? We know that the majority of Americans would like to stay friends with Canadians. We know that. But your administration is creating the situation we find on both sides of the borders that we're at. So don't think that we have a major hate on as Canadians for Americans. We don't. For an American administration led by Donald Jessica Trump. I know it's not Jessica, but Randy Rainbow, if you've ever seen him, he calls him Donald Jessica Trump for comedy purposes. Okay, so let's just see anything left here. Always text your person who's trying to be getting scammed. Never ever buy the scammers. Okay, Donna says that's good advice. You know, I'm not a Trumper. Hope Canada will forgive us once the ass is gone. Forgive is a strong word. I think it'll take some time to mend the damage that has been done. But that's all going to depend on what happens in the next decade, because it's going to be a decade. It may be longer, unfortunately. Okay, so that's it for us today. So tune into the videos next week as well. Thank you for joining us and putting your 2 cents worth in, because without that, we would be shortchanged. I just thought of that. I like that. I thought that was a good one, really. Okay, I'm going to stop while I'm ahead. Have a good